APCR? Out of all the shell types, APCR? Oh, come on. This tank can take a beating. Welcome back to Warzone and welcome aboard the IS-4M. And this is a really great Soviet 7.7 battle rating heavy tank. And it's been in the game since forever. And it always was very, very strong. This tank is never obsolete. But a lot of stuff around this tank has changed. It has power creeped. It has been power creeped. It has been reworked several times with the armor. Yeah, there was the gunner's viewport that you actually could penetrate with the AAA. This is a feature that the American T-34 and T-29 tanks enjoy quite heavily. For this tank it was reworked, it was nerfed, the turret placement was reworked and so forth and so on. And this is also the first time that I'm playing on this version of this map. This is some sort of Sinai with a triple capture zone game mode. And nobody is going with me for the first capture zone. So, okay, I'm capturing it. Somebody's already shooting at me. I guess a lot of campers are enjoying this. And this is just a map that is made for this tank. It's not very big. It's flat, so the lack of gun depression doesn't matter. Mobility is not that important, although this tank has not bad mobility. It's not good mobility, but it's certainly not bad, especially when you compare it to the 100 and the mouse. So, yeah. And it has a lot of armor all around. Very good, thick armor. I have no idea what this is, probably an RE251 or a Leopard. It does not really matter. I bounced some casual shots with pure skill, you know, because Stalinium. And just waiting here. I don't have to rush, I don't have to push. But eventually I'll do, because it's just a natural thing to do in Russian tanks. They're very good at it. Good, strong, bouncy frontal armor, troll armor you might say. And the turret on this tank is just incredible. As you could see in the clip before that, this tank can take a ferocious beating. Just the finest of HESH and heat and APDS or APFSDS shells will go through. This is one of the reasons why I actually enjoyed the Chieftain so much in the beginning in arcade, because you finally could do something more or less reliable against this tank, but then again it could easily one-shot you as well from the front. So this tank always has a chance against everything. Even firing on the move is a thing, because it has some glorious Soviet suspension. That Leopard. Imagine you're being that Leopard driver. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm not. I promise I will never harm a Leopard again in this tank. I promise. I really promise. I really promise I will never harm a Leopard again. But yeah, that's the thing, it's just a very simple tank. It has a lot of armor, it's bouncy, the tank is doing a lot of the work for you. You have a gun that can deal with the majority of enemies. For example, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. As I was saying, I was not harming him, I was just killing him, that's the difference. Okay, enough with the shit talk. The IS-4M is a very simple tank. You have bouncy, trollish frontal armor that is very thick, that has seen actually a revival since the HESH nerf with the last patch, which is fair and balanced, so Russians are back on the table. And then 7.7 battle rating. You are mostly top tier, which is fair and engaging, and brings back life to the IS-4M. I once said it in a tank review, or was it in a Duck Talks, I can't quite remember, where I say, if for some bizarre reason we see a revival of the old IS-4 meta. That's it! And so much has been talked about the mouse and the 100 on my behalf. I think it's just fair if I shed a bit of light on this tank as well, because like the mouse, the IS-4 has a reputation for being obsolete, and no, not really. One of the downsides is the long reload. So if you have to take 2 shots at something, it really hurts you time-wise. I have around about 22 seconds from my expert crew, and while this Kugelblitz is cooking up quite nicely, the reason why I didn't kill him with 1 shot is the very strange way that the Kugelblitz is built. So in order to 1-shot it, you have to aim at the turret front most of the time, or blow up the ammunition with APHE, because the ball turret design results in having interior second layer armor that protects the turret crew, except if you directly hit it. And this is the reason why so many people are complaining about the Kugelblitz. But then again, the Kugelblitz is not really a problem for this tank. It's AAA safe or SPA safe. And look at this, I captured 2 capture zones. I was on the front line, I was taking kind of a beating, and except my tracks, nothing is damaged. Maybe a viewport, but you know, Russian viewports. I have no idea where this shell went. Honestly, I would have killed that Jagdtiger. And now let's talk about the comparison to the other tanks, or the other heavy tanks, or so-called heavy tanks, as many miles away will remind me when I talk about the M103 and the Conqueror gun carrier systems, good frontal armor, yet they are, you know, easily defeatable from the front for the IS-4M if you learn to aim, if you know the weak spots. And while they have fantastic stock shells, the M103 with the best solid shot in the game, penetration like an APDS round, and post-penetration damage effect that has been buffed quite significantly together with the heat shell. Do you remember how people said, yeah, the IS-4M is now obsolete because there is the heat shell on the M103? I've never seen a spam of M103s, never. Yeah, at most there were 2 or 3 in one battle. I'm enjoying an SPA bath here all around, and yeah, the Kugelblitz bailed out, and I also 1-shot the Wirbelwind from the front. I really love how people are insisting on spawning in SPA. I don't. So yeah, I've driven the M103. It's not very frontline worthy in my opinion compared to something like the Mouse or the IS-4M. And furthermore, I guess the Conqueror has one of the most pathetic shells in the game. It's so good on paper, yet so unreliable in battle. I mean, try it out for yourself, and when you receive a penetrating shot, just don't forget, just forget it. The Conqueror is a bad tank. I've driven it myself recently, and I was just shocked how unreliable it is, how bad it is, and whatnot. So, I'm farming here happy Leopards, and yeah, I'm directly in the front line between the spawn zones. To be honest, there is nothing left to do for me, and as long as people insist of spawning in SPA, which I don't do, then let them have it. And that's actually the end of the battle. Just one more thing to do. Yeah, I mean, the gun handling is not the best, lack of gun depression, lack of reload, but on this map it does not really matter, does it? And it's the first time I've played on this map. It's the first time that I've driven the IS-4M in quite some time. Recently I wanted to respect it, and let's see how this went. So let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. So for 9 kills and 2 capture zones, with winning the battle, being on the front line, and very high battle activity of 99%, this is all you give me, Gaijin? Under 60,000 silver lines and under 4,500 research points for that battle? Really, that's all? Oh boy, come on. I think it was a good battle. I had fun. You know, when you get this result, you always have kind of fun. I hope you enjoyed the video as well, and so if you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.